So Moms to Moms was started on Lesbos in the fall of 2018 when so the numbers of people on the island were increasing really steadily and really drastically as kind of these restrictive policies kept more people on the island for the duration of their asylum procedure. And it created a housing crisis where there were a lot of people that were already in very vulnerable situations that were without any kind of safe housing and living in the Olive Grove, living in Moria, and unable to access services. So from this point, we decided to try to create a space where single women and single mothers could live in Mitslini and feel safe in more of a collective living environment based on principles of anti-discrimination and feminism. And so from there we got this house, got some funding together for this, and then slowly worked to get it fixed up so that by I think it was June 2019 we were able to open. So it's been about a year now. And in this year we've been able to invite a lot of people to come and stay with us. And it's people at different points in their procedure. Some who have just arrived and their situation makes it so that Moria is completely not an option. Some people are going to have their asylum interview in a week or 2 weeks, and then we arrange legal aid so that they are supported through their interview process. Some had kids in the time they were here and now have their ID and their asylum, but are waiting to kind of figure out what the next step is for them. So this is kind of a halfway point in terms of becoming autonomous and independent and finding their own place. And yeah, so it's been a year, and I'm really kind of grateful for the community that has been created in the space. It's in terms of mutual care, in terms of the dynamic we've been able to create, it's something that I'm really proud of and really happy with. In general, our capacity is 18 to 20, and we support people with everything from food assistance to clothing and material support, like shampoo, soap, conditioner, all of this. Assistance with transportation, so this generally means bus cards, which allows people to move back and forth between Moria if they need to and have a bit more independence in terms of mobility, which is really important. We work a lot with other grassroots projects in Mitslini, whether that means legal aid and helping people prepare for their interview and feel like they're in the best possible position to succeed with that. Okay, so generally we house between 18 and 20 people. And whenever people move in, usually we try to have at least some photos of the kids and stuff up on the wall. For example, this is Babu. He was 7 and was living with us for like 6 to 8 months with his mom and his 2 sisters, and it was just kind of like the baby of the house, and like always getting into trouble, always doing things, but incredibly sweet. A couple of the African women in the house started to call him their son. He was always kind of running around like doing little things for different people, running to the shop, picking up something. And yeah, that's his mom, Lima. And him and then this guy here, Hadi, we're 2 out of this group of 3 little guys who were between like 7 and 9 and like always getting up to something. They would jump in and out of the windows of the house on the first floor and drive everyone a little bit crazy, but super sweet. And yeah, in a house of all women, like having this group of like younger boys that were very much learning like, okay, how to be teenagers and kind of live in Greece and starting school here and stuff was a really interesting and cool time of yeah, just really super nice. And this is Abudi. He has lived here about a year now with his mom. When he moved in, he was about a year old. He just had his 2nd birthday. And for a long time just screamed. That was like his only reaction to anything, was just to shriek. And he had his birthday 2 weeks ago and was all dressed up. Like his mom put cologne on him, which is minorly ridiculous, but just seeing him in the middle of the room surrounded by all the other women in the house, dancing by himself in the middle, in like his little suit that his mama got him, and having that kind of support by a community of women that kind of take the role of aunts and sisters and mothers, and yeah, it was really a good moment. And His mom is from Somalia and has quite a lot of friends in the women's section. So for the birthday, we organized to get them all here. And so had like 15 women from the section, plus probably 15 to 18 from the house, all eating together, cooking, dancing, playing with the kids, taking turns, doing different things. So really, really nice. Mission Lifeline will be supporting in terms of our food costs as well as transportation. So to explain, for food, we cover all the basics, things like fresh vegetables, dry goods, pasta, rice, beans, oil, all of that stuff. And then also specific foods needed for the babies and the kids, which varies based on what people want. In our house meeting, usually we go through and make a big grocery list together, and then one of us goes shopping, and generally how that works. And then also with transportation, and this is mainly the bus cards, which are super important, especially on Lesbos, in terms of making it possible for people to go back and forth to the camp, for appointments, for when they have to change their housewives, for their interview, for all of this. Yeah. Moria should be evacuated, and I think the fact that it's grown into what it is now shows a fundamental disregard for human life. It's in terms of human rights, in terms of abuses by the state, in terms of the amount of systemic neglect that's happening there. Like, it's not like it's not possible to create for these people to leave. It's not possible that anything other than the current situation would exist, because it's for example, I've been here now 2 years. When I arrived, there was 8,000 people in the camp. 6,000. 8,000 in total between Moria and Karatepe. In the 2 years that I've been here, it's gone from 8,000 in total to 22,000, however many. When it was at 8,000, we were saying, okay, this is horrible, it's over capacity, it can't get worse. People are living in the olive grove in really horrible conditions, it can't get worse than this. And the last 2 years has been again and again and again, it can't get worse than this. And we're reaching a boiling point, I think, where it's unimaginable, and it's like really heartbreaking and angering that like it's been allowed to get to this point. And people are speaking up about it. People from the camp themselves, I think, have the clearest analysis of how exactly this has happened. But it needs to change, and soon, because, for example, if Corona were to come to the camp, it takes one case, and the amount of panic it would generate, the amount of people that would be impacted. If we have more fascist attacks on the island, like, the possibility for things to go very wrong is quite big. It's a powder keg right now, and it takes this much of something for, I think, the whole thing to explode.